How do you continue to innovate and make sure that you have a sustainable business model as competitors are trying to encroach? And let me apply that in the Shutterfly context and then maybe bring in some other experiences. There are very few businesses that are inherently unique and have sustainable competitive advantage. Right? Over time, things become imitable. People copy it. Toyota figures out how to make a better car than General Motors. Google figures out how to make a better search engine than Alta Vista. Right? Things change over time. And I think great businesses and success, and then I'll talk about how we're doing at Shutterfly, is figure out what you're good at, figure out where you can make money, and focus. And so too often I've been in companies or invested in companies where they tried to be everything to everybody. In fact, I think part of what created eBay's slowdown was we just kept putting feature after feature after feature onto the main eBay website. Right? There were some people who wanted to do auctions, and they tended to be more male. There were people who wanted to do fixed price, buy it now. Some people wanted to buy in quantity. Some people wanted different experiences and buyers, sellers, and we just kept putting it onto the platform, making it more and more and more complex. And the time to produce new innovations got longer and longer and longer because the code base got larger and larger, and the QA and the UE and the complexity of it. And so when I first came to Shutterfly, we didn't really have points of differentiation. We didn't have a mission, we didn't have a vision, we didn't have a strategy, we didn't have the right management team, we didn't have the right corporate governance. What we had was a bunch of passionate people with the kernel of the right idea that needed to change the perceptual map from being a 4x6 company, which you can't necessarily win against Walmart over time with their scale, and change that perceptual map. And so we're focused on knowing our demographic, which is, again, 75% females. They tend to have children. They're 25 to 55 years old, and they tend to be what we call the CMO, the Chief Memory Officer of the family. Right? They're the ones responsible for capturing and sharing and telling the stories. And so we set out on a path of how do we win and how do we differentiate. And we're doing it in a couple of ways. First of all, through what we call customer centricity. So unlike all of our competitors, we don't downsample or compress your images. So if you take an image with a 5-megapixel camera, it's about a 1.4 megabyte size of the file. We actually upload and take that high-res original. Our competitors will downsample it, to like on Facebook's like a 200K. So you can't really make enlargements or crop, and if your computer crashes, your original resolution image isn't there. We also don't force delete. So at Snapfish, if you don't come back every 6 months and purchase, they'll delete your memories. We call them memories. They call them photos. They're people's memories, and there's been Kodak and Snapfish have deleted people's wedding pictures, the birth of their kids, because they changed from Hotmail to Yahoo Mail, and they didn't have a bounce-back service, and there was a big New York Times article about it. We don't force people to register. So you go to Snapfish, if you want to share pictures of kids at the soccer game, everyone has to register. Right? So they talk about registered users. We talk about paying customers. Right? So we have a 1-800 phone number as well as live chat plus email. Go try to find the phone number on our competitor sites. We also have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. So we say we're going to be the premium player, and to do that, you got to deliver a premium service and experience. That costs more, but you could charge more for doing that. We also, in talking to our customers, they're fashion forward. They want to stand out from the crowd, and so they care about designs. So we have over 60 million combinations of fonts, layouts, backgrounds, designs, and book sizes. And so, we're trying to diversify. Now, we don't overwhelm and tell our customers we have 60 million because they'd be overwhelmed, but we allow for progressive discovery based upon us knowing something about them and them telling us something more about them. We've created new form factors by owning manufacturing. We're the only ones in the industry to own manufacturing. And when I first got there, I said, hey, we got to get this manufacturing off the books. That's called hard assets. I've come from 6 internet companies where you don't own any assets and your return on equity and your return on assets are even better. And we went out and we talked to people, and everyone was willing to outsource for us. They didn't have the quality. They didn't have the customer centricity. They didn't have the innovation, and they couldn't provide the service levels that I thought was important to support our premium brand. So we said, let's take manufacturing and turn it into a strategic weapon. So we have the lowest cost in the industry because we own manufacturing. There's no middleman. I went out and hired a bunch of PhD scientists in image science, and we hired away people from Xerox and from HP, the people who make the machines we use, right? And we've driven the cost down where we're the lowest cost producer in the industry. We're also the premium player, so we have the highest prices. So we make a profit between those two, where our competitors, the best to our knowledge, have never made a profit, and we've been profitable since 2003. The other thing is focus on innovation. We've been the first in the market with many things. We launched on December 11th in 1999, and there's been over 1,000 venture-backed companies in this space, some from folks like Kleiner and Sutter Hill and Sequoia and name it, but they've come and gone because they haven't created a business model. So we were the first to market. We were the first with different sharing paradigms. We were the first with different form factors. We were the first with going to changing the user experience to use drag and drop and Ajax and making the user environment more friendly. And so customer centricity, quality, design sensibility, innovation, I think those are some of the key ways that we continue to compete. Now, parts of the business is an arms race. For example, the 4x6 print. You could get a 4x6 print on your home printer, which is pretty good. Not as great as what we do, or if you go to in-store. It's a little more expensive. The quality is not as good. It's time-consuming, but you can't really win on the quality of a 4x6 print. You could lose. And so we see that as kind of parity. And the industry grew about 15% last year on 4x6 prints. And even though we had the highest price by about 40%, we grew 34% our print business. And it's because we wrapped it into that customer-centric quality. So we use cardboard packaging. We then wrap it again. Our competitors are using paper and saving on shipping and stuff. So we've said we're going to be the Nordstroms in the industry. Snapfish has come out and said we're going to be the Walmart. And Kodak's kind of stuck in the middle like Macy's. Servicing a broader range of customers, selling a large SKU set, and not really having a unique tone. So the brand that we're building through all those touch points is the fifth way we're differentiating ourselves, because it's an arms race. People add the same designs. They'll copy our formats. They'll copy our form factors. They'll copy our new features and functionality. But we're constantly innovating. And the way we do it is by involving the customers into the design process and doing iterative feedbacks.